About 1 then, if you're sure it's convenient. I mean, you sure you won't be having your
Any
dinner?
time's convenient. After all, you are a possible customer, aren't you?
About 1 then, yes.
As a matter of fact, she is precisely 8.5 minutes late.
It's not like her, that, is it?
No, I'll grant you that. Mavis is a lot of things, a lot of funny things, but she is not unpunctual. If she says she's nipping out for half an hour it is to the second, usually.
You don't think she might have had...
Had an accident? Well, it's possible. I mean, even Mavis is not immune to a chimney pot falling on her nut. But I don't think she's been run over or anything like that. Because Mavis is the only person in the world who looks 6 times both ways before crossing a one-way street.
Yes, I've noticed. Anyway, look, I'm going to be unpunctual myself if I don't get a move on. Will you tell her I'll slip in later? About lunchtime.
Any messages?
Oh, no, not really.
Think one up then, eh?
Pardon?
Oh, go on, brighten up my day a bit.
Right, if you insist. Tell her the plane leaves for Casablanca at 6.
Fancy that. Wet lettuce Derek has a sense of humour.
By God, those poached eggs were great, darling.
You're a greedy so-and-so. You have one breakfast at home and another one here. You'll be getting as fat as a pig.
Keeps you warm, sweetheart. Especially in bed.
Where the hell have you been?
I told you on an errand.
10 minutes longer than you said, Erin.
What's 10 minutes?
Derek called.
Oh, good.
You and him aren't going Casablanca, are you?
Casablanca?
No, it was Derek joking.
Oh.
You know what a comic he is.
No, we're not going to Casablanca. We might very well be striking out in another direction. Do you want me to do the returns, Rita?
Yeah.
Do you want to come look at the face?
Having second thoughts, are we?
No.
Oh, yeah?
Look, why should I all of a sudden?
Seeing him with her.
She's a flipping buyer. She's not his...
His what?
his bird.
Yeah, he'll probably be taking her out tonight, though, won't he? Probably to the same place as he would have taken you, I shouldn't wonder.
All in a day's work.
Since when's night been day?
Look, will you make up your flaming mind. Do you want me to take out with Mike Baldwin or don't you?
Take up with him. And do me a favour. He only asked you out for a meal and that were to win a bet.
Ah, yes, but once in my clutches like a fly on fly paper.
You don't half fancy yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Why didn't you go out with him then? Get him in your clutches.
Well, it was no thanks to you, didn't was it? I mean, it took Steve to tell me I was a prize filly.
Done you no harm to go. You'd have had a good time.
Well, I'm glad I didn't go.
Why?
I just am, that's all.
I don't believe it.
Suit yourself, it's a free country.
I bet you're kicking yourself. I could see you looking at him with her. You were green with jealousy.
Look who's talking. You've been the colour of a cucumber ever since he asked me out. Bet or not?
Rubbish.
You have.
I still think you wish you'd gone. And I'd have let you go, so how can I be jealous?
I don't wish I'd gone, Gail.
Why?
I'll tell you when you're 21. You can look at me like that till the cows come home. I'm not telling you anything.
I could report you, to that court.
What court?
It's in, it's on the continent somewhere, and it's something to do with human rights.
Don't be silly, Rita.
I'm not being silly. I'm human, and it's not right what you're doing to me. You're torturing me. I wouldn't care if it didn't show on your face that you were up to something. You keep smirking to yourself, like you got a feather up your jumper.
Well, report me then, I don't care.
Have you bought a house? Have you? Mavis? Now, come on, Albert, seriously, How old were you when you stopped bothering?
I don't think he has stopped bothering, have you, Uncle Albert? Not judging by the phone calls he gets, anyway.
Oh, shut up, will you?
Sorry.
Well, look, I'll tell you what it is, should I?
We're listening with bated breath.
I thought you listened with your ears.
Shut up.
When a fella's young, he doesn't think much else about out. Well, I mean, young lasses see that he doesn't, don't they? But eventually, he learns a bit of sense and he hardly thinks about it at all. You know what they call that, don't you? Peace of mind. Contentment, that's what they call that.
But you've still not answered my question, Albert.
Of course I have. All you've got to do is to reckon from when I started looking contented, because that's when I stopped bothering about it.
You've never looked contented. Now, come on, Albert, who is she?
Yeah, what did I tell you? All those phone calls.
You can't have a serious talk with anybody these days. And you're always trying to make a joke of everything.
What are they saying to upset you now, Mr. Tatlock?
Just being ignorant as usual.
Albert?
What?
Does what you said apply to women as well as fellas?
I don't see why not. Even women can learn sense.
Mrs. Walker? Is it? Would you say that you were contented?
Contented, me? Oh, I'm like a yo-yo. Up one day, down the next.
Fancy!
Did I say something funny? You know, I've just realised something.
What?
You two haven't spoken for at least a minute. Is that a record between the two of you?
I wouldn't know.
You know, for a couple of best mates, you spend a heck of a lot of time not speaking to one another.
I'm speaking to her, but she's not speaking to me.
Yeah, but she only speaks when it suits her. Ask her a civilised question, you just get a mysterious smile. At least she thinks it's mysterious.
Why should I tell you everything I'm thinking?
Because I'm your best mate, like Elsie says.
No, you're just a nosy Parker, that's all.
I'm not nosy, I'm interested.
You're just nosy.
All right, that's enough.
Hey, the phone's ringing.
Yeah?
Oh, I thought it was the cat that had the croup answering, one of you.
It's supposed to be cut off.
Hello, Weatherfield? Oh, yes, hang on. It's Mrs. Birtwistle.
Oh, tell her I'll ring her back when I've had my dinner.
Hello? Yeah, she said she'll ring you back when she's had her dinner. All right, then. Ta-ra. Hey, when did that happen? When did we get put back on again?
When I paid the bill. Oh, you know what a bill is, don't you? It's one of them little bits of paper with writing all over it. Oh, of course you must know. You dish them out of that little shop of yours.
All right, Elsie. Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit.
Oh, was I being sarcastic? I'm very sorry. I'll try to give it you straight if you can stand it. First of all, that bill I paid, I shouldn't have done. It should have been your turn, because you use that phone twice as much as I do, at least. So, this after, when you get paid, I want 10 quid off each of you.
Oh, no, Elsie, not this week.
Oh, Elsie, I've got a lot of commitments.
Oh, I can see that you both can see eye to eye when it comes to wiggling out of debts, that is. Look, madam, I mean it. 10 quid a piece of you on the table this tea time.
Right, I'm off to my dinner now.
Oh, well, don't be late back, will you? Because I don't want to be too late going for 9.
Why?
Well, you're a trier, I'll say that for you.
It's not getting me nowhere, though, is it?
No.
Right. I shall just have to rely on that bug I've left behind.
Bug? Oh, you've been seeing too many James Bond films, you have.
All right. Well, I am going to give you a clue. It is somewhere in this shop. Now, that's got you thinking, hasn't it?
Has it, heck? Bug indeed.
I'll bet it has. I bet when I go through that door, you look under every shelf and inside every fag packet.
Rubbish.
What did I tell you?
Oh, get off with you.
Oh,
Hello, dearie.
hello, Rita.
I told Mavis about Casablanca, but she's already got 2 tickets on a coach to live in St Anne's. Still, that's Mavis, isn't it? Enjoy yourself, lad.
Casablanca. As if.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Do you ever feel like just setting off somewhere? Upping and going?
Often.
Don't think many people do, though, do you?
No,
Up and go.
doubt it. I mean, it's like racing madly through the dew-jewel grass in your bare feet, isn't it?
Pardon?
Well, that's just something you dream about doing.
Yes.
What did you want to see me about?
Oh, yes, I've made an appointment for us with your Mr. Irwin at Building Society.
Oh.
2 o'clock, all right?
Oh, yes, that's fine. I'm afraid I've been a little bit naughty.
Why?
Well, I called in at that first house that we saw when I was passing this morning, and Mrs. Ashbrook, that's the lady that owns it, said that we can go and see it at dinner time if we want to. It's not jumping the gun, is it?
Well, 'tis a bit. What's it matter, eh? Let's live a little dangerously.
I'm game. Well, I mean, I'm willing. No.
This is a garden. Well, if you can call it a garden, that is. Still, it's always been big enough for us. Mr. Ashbrook's not very interested, you know.
Well, what do you think, Mavis, of the...
Oh, it's very nice, like everything else we've seen.
Big enough, is it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm no gardener myself. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have time anyway, working the long hours that I do.
What exactly do you do for a living?
I'm only a shop assistant.
You're definitely not only a shop assistant, Mavis. She is only the number 2 in a very considerable enterprise.
I'm number 2, Derry, because there's just 2 of us. Well, I think we've seen about everything there, haven't we?
Well, I would show you the rest of the estate. Only the guns are out today, as Mr. Ashbrook would say. He thinks he's another Tommy Trindle, as Mr. Ashbrook. Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Sure it's no trouble?
Of course it's no trouble. Come on in.
Is it lovely, Derry?
It's ideal.
So, you're a princess, Mrs. F.
What you want 'em for?
Cup fever.
Come again?
Cup fever, it's coming up to FA Cup time, isn't it?
Oh, football.
Oh, football? Listen, Ken, tell her what football means to lads like me. Tell her it's the icing on the cake, isn't that right?
No, not for me, it isn't, Eddie. Football isn't anything for me except a very simple game whose importance has been inflated beyond reason.
Oh, come on. What about the drama, the skill, the passion when Duncan McKenzie gets the ball and goes round one defender and then another and he shoots? What?
Oh, I wish I'd never asked what them rotten boxes were for.
Me too.
All right, I can take it in. Oh, I've got a load of rosettes, you know, for the big cup games. I need somewhere to store them.
Yeah, so then you can flog them to scores of misguided kids who'd be far better off spending their Saturday afternoon in an art gallery.
Goodison Park is an art gallery. You've not seen Duncan McKenzie.
No, I've no desire to. Look, I don't mind people playing soccer. That's what it was invented for, to be played, not watched by mindless millions.
Mindless? You're referring to me, me late dad, 6 uncles and half a dozen cousins.
God, I wish I'd kept my mouth shut.
Look, professional football smacks far too much of big cars, fat cigars and power for the sake of power to appeal to me. It's a business. It's not a game anymore.
Of course it's a game. You watch Everton coming out the tunnel. Your throat goes dry, tears come in your eyes.
That's mass hysteria.
That is love, Squire.
Look, can we talk about something else? Sex, anything, please.
And that is another thing.
What?
Football's a lot more satisfying than what you've just said. For a start, you're in the fresh air. It's a lot healthier for you.
Oh, sorry about that. I got a bit carried away.
You don't think he's right, do you?
Right?
About what he said about, you know.
Oh, you think of becoming an Everton fan?
Yes, and making Fairclough redundant. Well, he's nearly that now.
Oh, I don't believe that.
No, he's not. Now, what can I do for you?
Oh, would you believe Christmas decorations? I've got just so much to spend doing up the centre, so might as well start spending it.
Good.
Oh, you're not holding the chair.
Sorry.
I don't like heights, you know. I never have done. Do you know, once I went up Conway Castle and had to be helped down again because I felt faint.
I'm the same. Do you like flying?
Oh, no fear. Just seeing them's enough for me. Just seeing them flying past.
It makes you go all cold, doesn't it?
Me too.
Haven't you two got a lot in common?
Do you like flying, Susie?
Love it.
Since when have you been flying?
There's a lot about my life you don't know. I mean, how long have you known me? A year?
A year too long.
Oh, now look, you two.
Oh, he might fall off his pedestal, mightn't he, Gail?
Oh, I could kill her sometimes.
Oh, she's still feeling a bit vulnerable, ain't she? After what Mr. Baldwin
I could
tried.
kill you all the time. Ask you if.
Well, it looks all right for me.
I'm telling you, it's Skewift.
Oh, are you two falling out?
Get lost, Birchall.
Now.
Afternoon, everybody. Well, what a hive of activity this is. You only keep this place open to provide jobs for you two. Oh, here's your wages, compliments of earning. I mean, God knows what you do to earn it.
How about looking smart and attractive for starters? Well, me anyway.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
I thought you might.
What you doing up there?
I'm helping them trim up, Mr. Baldwin.
Did I say you could?
Yeah?
Oh, well, you better get on with it then. See ya.
See you. What are you two looking at? You know, it's a waste of time getting this week. It's all spoken for.
Why don't you ask Mike for a loan? I'm sure he'd give you one if you're that hard up.
Very probably.
That's a daft thing to say, Gail. He's the last person she'd ask. Oh, what's it?
Riley?
Thank you.
Do come in. Thank you, Mr. Irving.
Please sit down.
Why don't you sit?
Now then, Mr. Wilton tells me he thinks he might have a solution to your problem, Miss Riley.
I hope so.
Now, have I got this right, Mr. Wilton? You propose to become joint mortgagee of this property with Miss Riley?
Yes, that's right.
joint mortgagee?
Yes.
That's all?
Yes.
I see.
It's an investment. Well, it is, isn't it, Mavis? I mean, property is an investment.
Yes, of course. But you would be living there, Miss Riley?
Yes.
I see. Well, what we would want, of course, would be details of your income, Mr. Wilton. We already have, Miss Riley.
Well, I've already made a note of them.
Oh, thank you.
In the strictest confidence, naturally.
Absolutely. How much is the asking price of this property?
£6,000.
And you were requiring... How big a mortgage were you thinking of?
Don't know.
90%.
Yes.
That's 5,400.
Quite. Well, that doesn't seem to be out of the question, not so far as your joint income is concerned.
There. I said it'd make all the difference. Didn't I say that, Mavis?
Yes, you did, Derek.
Yes, well, you'd better have another application form, hadn't you? If you'll just excuse me.
Yes. Closer. Ever closer.
Yes.
You coming home?
I can't, unless we shut shop.
Where's Mavis?
Missing again, second time today.
Where's she gone?
You can search me, she don't tell me.
Well, she should tell you. You're supposed to be a flipping boss, aren't you?
I never used to doubt that, till recently. For I suspect the worm is turning.
Mavis?
Mavis.
Unless us stores got hold of her, have they?
Come again?
You know, the union. Shop workers.
Oh, no. She's anti-union, is Mavis. You Scanlon frightens her. She don't mind Len Murray. Thinks he's got sad eyes. No, it's so much she's up to with that Derek.
It's about time.
Not that.
What then?
I think she's bought house, or buying one.
I'll believe that when I see it. How long's she supposed to be?
Oh, she won't be long.
Make us a cup of tea then. Eh?
Right. Len, I've decided I'd like to start watching football.
Hey?
Well, they say it's very satisfying.
It is. We'll go to Main Road Saturday.
Thought you might say that.
So that's agreed then?
Yeah.
And no backing out last minute?
No, I said.
Right. Hey, and I'm sorry.
What for?
Well, I've been a bit of a bitch all day, but you will keep going on about you-know-who.
Yeah, well, I won't anymore. He's a closed subject.
Good.
I would like to know what you feel, though.
Gail?
Sorry.
Now, don't forget, united we stand.
United we stand.
Oh. Good blimey, what a day. Thank goodness that's over. Oh, one row after another. As if doing your work isn't enough without all that aggro. I wonder if fellas go on like that with each other, work like women do. Are you two still not speaking to one another?
Who's speaking?
Oh, well, that's somewhat at least. That'd knock your heads together if you hadn't been. What's for tea?
We got some undercut.
Undercut? You must be very well... Oh, yes, of course, I've forgotten it's payday, isn't it?
Yeah, and my rent's on the sideboard.
And
Elsie.
mine.
Your rent?
Yeah, on the sideboard. And there's an extra £1 towards the telephone bill.
And one from me, too.
I said an extra 10 quid.
Yeah, well, you see, we thought if we paid you an extra £1 a week each for 10 weeks, it'd work out the same in the long run.
Yeah, it does in the long run.
I'm sorry, 10 quid I said and 10 quid I meant.
Elsie, we can't afford it in lump sum. We're skint, honestly.
You can't get blood out of a stone, Elsie.
Oh, can't I?
What are you doing?
I'm cutting us off again.
Elsie, don't be daft.
Daft, am I? I'd be daft if I let you go and owe me 20 quid for 10 weeks, wouldn't I?
No, first 18, then 16 and so on.
Yeah.
Look, this phone is not important to me, and I said 20 quid. Now, I've told you it's not important, but I can do without it. Can you?
Elsie, you know it's our lifeline.
It's like an umbilical cord to the outside world.
Hey?
Yeah, there might be someone now waiting to put the finger in the dial to dial us.
Yeah, like a bloke.
Like a bloke. You can have my 10 quid.
Traitor.
I haven't been out for 2 weeks. I might as well be dead without that phone.
All right.
Thank heavens that's settled. Give us a shout when tea's ready, will you?
You do know she was only bluffing. She needs the phone just as much as we do.
I can't afford to take the risk. I don't get invited out to dinner by the boss.
There you go again.
Well... There we are. A pint for the lovely Len and a scotch for the ratty Baldwin.
Isn't she marvellous?
I think she ought to be nationalised myself.
What, like the gasworks, you mean?
You know, you're dicing with death, Leonard. Just ask him how it's ruined his life having me for an enemy.
Oh, come on, Bet. We're not enemies.
We are.
Aren't I ever going to be forgiven?
Oh, dear, listen to him, little boy lost. Me hating him, young Susie standing him up. What a harsh, cruel world it's suddenly turned out to be for rich, personable moneybags Baldwin.
I can take just about so much, you know.
Well, we'll have to see just how much, won't we?
Bet.
Yes, Mrs. Walker.
Don't you think you're carrying this feud a little too far?
No.
He's one of our best customers, you know.
He also did a very dirty trick on me, Mrs. Walker.
Bet, dear, you rather asked for it, as I remember. Anyway, one of the rules of good business is that you should never let your personal life interfere with it. A broken heart, maybe, but a public face, always. So please be a little less offensive to Mr. Baldwin in working hours, if you don't mind.
Yes, Mrs. Walker. Your change, sir.
What's got into you?
Oh, don't worry. This is just my public face. As soon as Mrs. Walker's gone, I shall probably smash you about the head with a pint bottle. And if she's got any sense, young Susie will do the same.
Oh, I don't think Susie's likely to get that steamed up about me, Bet. At least not in that way, if you get my meaning.
Carlo, thank you. Where the hell have you been all afternoon?
I'm sorry I'm late.
You're sorry? What do you think I am? I've been waiting to go home. It was my turn to finish early today, you know. Len's been and gone. You don't look so sorry.
Well, I am.
Well, try looking it then.
Can't.
Why can't you? Are you still being shifty about wherever it is you're up to?
I haven't been shifty.
You have. So what are you up to?
Me and Derek are buying a house. Well, nearly.
Eh?
Me and Derek are going to buy a house if the Building Society will give us a mortgage.
You and Derek?
Yes.
I thought you weren't trying to buy one on your own.
Oh, well, I can't, can I? Because I don't earn enough.
So where does he come in?
Well, he offered.
He offered what?
To help me to buy the house, to help me with the mortgage. Be it a joint mortgagee, if you want the official term.
Why?
Well, what do you mean, why?
I mean, why?
Well, it's an investment, isn't it? I mean, property is an investment. What are you grinning at?
Oh, Mavis, an investment.
Well, what other reason could he have?
It's his way of proposing, isn't it?
Don't be silly, Rita.
You think about it while you're doing them evening papers. Just think about it. An investment, indeed. All depends what you mean by investment, don't it?
Yes, and you can invest in more great drama. Do join us for another classic episode of Coronation Street at the same time tomorrow. Well, next tonight, Cilla Black and the team work hard to bring us surprise. That's in just a moment.